The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line. Only on
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day. Hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza on this wonderful Wednesday. Boy, it was great outside weather-wise for yours truly here on Long Island. Hopefully it was for you. 2 glorious hours. Little NBA, little NHL, college basketball, NCAA, 2 more play-in games. Got a couple of NIT games, believe it or not, that I actually like. Headline marquee, if you will, NHL game. Maybe a preview of the Stanley Cup Finals. Although Toronto, really, who's kidding who? But a lot to get to over the next 2 hours. Great guest as well. A little golf also. What's going on, Mr. Sharapan, my partner in crime, Dave Sharapan. What's up, Dave?
Good to see you, sir. Good to see that you were outside getting a little bit of sunshine and stuff because for the next few days, at least here on the grid, we won't be here, but the boys will be here in studio. It's March Madness week. It's the first 4 days of the tournament for years I was locked in a sports book, working either in the book or, in the risk room, 16-hour days, wall-to-wall basketball. We'll get to all that, and we'll talk about regions and different things and everything else. But Wednesday before, we got a great hockey game going on. We got a play-in game going on. Did you see the Baby Blues? I had to try to come up with something to represent the Baby Blues, right? Man, the Mount playing pretty well. They want to get in to the tournament. I mean, again, we said it last night. I'm going to ask you again right now. Are you in the tournament if you're playing tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to say yes, but I'm not going to fall prey to the NCAA fodder and putting more money in my back pocket. Yeah, you're not. You're not. You're just not. Sorry. The pomp and circumstances, the hype. You're not even in the brackets. Let gambling decide. Are you in the bracket? No, then you're really not in the tournament. Then, right? If you lose tonight, you can't go home and say, "Yeah, we made the NCAA's." You really didn't. I just assumed, Dave. I know this is goofy, but I just assumed be a 16 seed and play the number 1 seed than I would lose in the first round in this the play-in game. It's just as an 11 seed, we'll say. It just
Well, I mean, it's crazy because we saw a good game yesterday. In the play-in, I guess with the 16s, it turned into a very entertaining game. It was a close game. Yeah. But the winner of this awaits Duke. And we did it last night, and we said the line would be 29.5 or 30. Tonight, we'll see the winner of this while we're on the show here in game live, and we'll try to come up with a number for either American, or the Mount. And it's probably going to be about the same number. Scott, there's not going to be much of a,
really.
I don't know. This one might be even higher depending on, who you have to, how you going to match up anywhere against Duke and Cooper Flag and everything else that's happening. So, yeah, good hockey game tonight. Again, wanted to mention that. We got the boys coming on later to talk about the golf. I got to be honest, there's not going to be much golf on any of my TVs for the weekend. How about you? So we're going to have to rely on the boys for the picks. Yeah.
Yeah, this is clearly one where if you want to put a couple shekels on it, give me who's going to win. I'm not going to worry about who's in first place after the first round or second round. Just give me who's going to win because I'm not going to pay one iota. I mean, you can have a blizzard on that course. It's just like whatever, that I win my ticket or no. I'm saving most of my money towards the NCAA. Put a few more plays in today. Had some fun with some of these goofy props that we'll go over. Some interesting ones. I'm still looking for my favorite prop bet. I don't see it for some reason. And I look at different little sites that I don't use, even offshore sites. And that is, Dave, how many wins each respective conference will get. Because I'm all pumped to bet against the SEC. But I don't have it FanDuel here in New York. New York's a little limited. I know that. But, some of the offshore books that I grabbed some of these other props that we'll bring up, I didn't see it there either. I love that prop. It gives you action on almost like every single game.
See if we can find that while we're here on commercial break because I know we have them out here in Vegas.
Yeah.
You got all these trends. And, again, trends are your friends until they're not. But the super trends for the Wednesday show are pretty loaded right here, starting with the game in Dayton. It's coming up after Mount St. Mary's and American. This one I kind of like, but you got anything here? Or are these all NBA trends? Super trends.
Oh, no. We got some. We definitely got some. Here we go. So top 5 trends. Went 2 and 3 yesterday with the trends. So still 14 and 11. 14 up, 11 down if you just blindly follow all these trends since we started doing them last week. So here are Super 5. Got to go with the over. Texas 9-0 over against teams playing 600 ball or better, which Xavier is. So also 8-0 over after and against the spread loss. I didn't have room to put that on there. So these 2 monster trends. So over 151, 150.5, depending on where you do your shopping, Texas versus Xavier. NBA, how about San Antonio? 1-7 against the spread their last 8 games against winning teams. They're not particularly good anyway, but especially against winning teams, they just completely waved the white flag. So lay the 7.5, maybe 8, maybe even 9 with the New York Knickerbockers tonight. Philadelphia, 26-42 against the spread, taking on OKC, which is phenomenal against the spread, 43-21-4. Give me Oklahoma City, right? Laid the 12. That line was
you got to be a better. You got to be a better to even get involved in that game. I mean, there's no way, and we might see a 20.5 in the first half. This one has potential with everybody sitting. But there's an interesting dynamic with that one with the draft picks because OKC controls Philly's draft pick if it's in the bottom 6 or if it's not in the bottom 6. So they could maybe, not dress their guys and lay down. I don't know. But this is a better trend right here. You're only get involved if you're betting this game.
Yeah. OKC is the same team that we talked yesterday that sat 5 starters and still won the game. So they're more than capable with this Philadelphia team. So Chicago taking on Phoenix. Chicago 8-0 against the spread against losing teams. Which the surprising thing with that is that Phoenix is actually a losing team. They are. So Chicago's turned it on since the All-Star break. They're actually playing good basketball. As soon as the GM told the world he doesn't care about winning and got rid of Zach LaVine and all the starters, that Chicago's been playing terrific. Where was this team at the beginning of the year? Right?
Yeah.
Go figure.
They're different times. I mean, the beginning of the year, they couldn't win a game. And they weren't even competitive in a lot of them. Definitely games were going over. What's that last one though? Because that's the night game
It's the
tonight.
best
I mean,
one.
there's two games. I love this late trend. What is this last one?
This is the best one of all, our super duper trend, as we call it. Memphis taking on Portland. Memphis 2-13-1 against the spread their last 16 games. They have been on an ATS just burner for the longest time. And throw in Portland is 9-2 against the spread last 11 as a home underdog, as they are. And got to take Portland plus the 4.5, right, against Memphis at home.
Play makes perfect sense. Yeah, that play makes perfect sense. I like that one. Home dogs late, I think might be the theme. We have Cleveland, Sacramento later, Denver, and the Lakers. We'll get to all that. We got beginning of the 2-hour show. Of course, we're going to mention NBA today.
Yes. Big NBA slate with only the two. They flip-flop back and forth. So it's NBA turn today after the NHL had their shot at it last night. So in-game live just underway right here on the grid.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one. Busy shows. We get you set for the NCAA tournament, which tips off a little bit after 12:15, I think is the first game Eastern time tomorrow. And then it's just a smorgasbord of basketball. Got the two play-in games tonight. Got the one game underway. A little higher scoring game than I think most people figured, even if you like the over. Who figured it would be 64-51 with 11.5 minutes left? over under 155.5. Then we got Texas Xavier starting in about an hour and a half or so, depending on how long this first game lasts. We got our little SGP, we got our Black Clouds, and then we got our 3-team Dave 3-league championship parlay to get to. We got to put that in tonight. So a couple of hockey games, a couple of NBA games. So a busy slate. What's first and foremost on your mind? The hockey, Colorado, Toronto?
Yeah, scoreless first period. Really good hockey game. It's tied 1-1 right now. I liked Colorado before the game. Still like Colorado. So hopefully they can get the next goal once we get into the second period and, you start to see these things. Austin Matthews got the first goal of the game for Toronto, and Colorado answered. So I liked what you said, that this could be a possible Stanley Cup preview. But it's really not, because Toronto's in it. There's the first page right there of the Stanley Cup futures, and Toronto is noticeably absent from that. It would be great. Listen, business would be booming for Canada. They're all right now look like they're going to make the playoffs. Almost all the teams in Canada, I believe, except for Calgary. I don't think Calgary's in it right now, but they're all right there. So could be fun. But this is a good hockey game. We'll keep an eye on it in game right now. Total, it's off right now, so somebody's going on a power play, TV timeout. So we'll see. Might be one of those where they get the first goals now in the second period. There might be multiple goals, so keep an eye on that one.
What if that's ever happened? I'm trying to think back. Has it been where all Canadian teams made the postseason?
Yes. 1989, I believe, was the last one where Calgary won the Stanley Cup, and they all made it. So it's been that long. So, yeah. I mean, Montreal hasn't been great for a while. Ottawa's hit and miss, right? Winnipeg went through a little bit of an up and down. Edmonton has been in it for consistently. Toronto's been in it consistently. And, this will be a good year. That bet will come up. Will Canada win the Cup? Yes or no? And there will be people. I know people have been betting that here in Vegas for years, the no. So we'll see. Edmonton almost did it last year. I'm not using Edmonton in the championship, though, in the S&W Corp. We're not. I don't want to use Edmonton. Do you? I don't.
If you said you did, I'd be okay. If you said you didn't, I would be more than okay with that too. It's one of those. Okay. Like if you said Toronto, then I'd be like, yeah, really, So I'm on the fence with them. They got there last year. I do think they're going to play a little better hockey once the postseason begins. I would think. But listen, maybe with McDavid, they're just like the Nations 4 just took it out of them. Maybe there's like, that's it. That was our championship. Sorry, boys. We'll go get them next year. So there's so many good teams that, like I said, if you didn't want to put them in, no problem. You want to put in Dallas or Colorado or Winnipeg or Vegas, whoever it may be. There's so many teams. Can't go wrong with it.
The NBA is going to be the interesting one. Like tonight, just glance at the score. OKC was pitching a shutout. It was 15-0. Now it's 17-2 over the Sixers. And the in-game number we had just mentioned, the trend, and it was -12. It's already 19.5. It's the first quarter, and there's only 4 minutes gone. So, the Thunder might make the list. We'll keep an eye on the teams like that. 5-1 ATS home game run for OKC, man. All their numbers just indicate that they're going to be there, at least in the Western Conference Finals. We're going to try to do what we did last year and give ourselves an opportunity to have the conference finals in both. So OKC right there to win the Western Conference. There's a couple other teams on that list that might make our parlay. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. I don't know if you're aware of what happened already with the Denver and the Lakers game tonight.
No.
Did you see the line move just now? No, Denver was a 3-point favorite when we went to start the show. And within the last 10 minutes, the Lakers are a 5-point favorite. So Now, it worked out okay the other night when they went from 4.5 to 11.5 against Golden State on the road, and they won. But my goodness, the Lakers 6-0 ATS run as a home favorite. If you're holding the +2 ticket in your pocket, you could pregame both sides. I mean, you could have +5 on the other side with Denver, but on an 0-6 run, ATS is a favorite. Well, we have to throw that trend out because they're no longer the favorite. Unbelievable.
Amazing. Nuggets leaning towards, not definitely, on Roto World, which is pretty solid. Leaning towards, according to the 4-letter network, so they're taking that report. Joker or Murray, maybe not playing. So leaning towards not playing the Joker or Murray. So that means one of the two. So
both
one of the two is going to play, one won't.
The betting market has spoken. I will say right now,
neither one's playing.
5:20 Pacific, 8:20 Eastern. Neither one is playing. It would be a big surprise if either one plays.
I mean, you think about it. You had Denver versus Golden State, right? Great matchup with Steph versus the Joker, the whole kit, right? That gets blown up because Steph doesn't play, or because the Joker and Murray don't play. Mm-hmm. Then you had, Golden State rest Steph. That, worked out. They both won, but just as far as like big games against Milwaukee coming to town, right? And then you got Denver tonight, pretty good game, obviously, against the Lakers. And what happens? One of these two, if not both, won't play. I mean, it's just remarkable. You can't have a big game in the NBA because no one even plays, let alone it being meaningless.
Thank goodness we got March Madness.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room? Like, you giving like the Any Given Sunday Inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like, I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 1, 24 past the hour. You know what time it is. Little SGP same game parlay time. All right. I'm Polish, right? Or at least part Polish. So I got a stubborn streak in me. And we're going to find out how stubborn I am a little bit later on as well. So I'm going right back to the well here, Dave. I'm going right back to SGP time with the Cleveland Cadavers who killed us last night, both the Black Cloud and SGP. So if they're going to tank the rest of the season, by golly, I'm going to be on them the whole way. No, actually, this is the last time. If they don't win tonight, then they've cashed it in for the rest of the regular season. So let's go with Cleveland. We lost last night with the Cadavers. Right back on the board. I'll lay the minus 198.5. Won't go with the point spread. I think they do win. Hopefully they do. I'm going to go over 235.5. I'm going to go right back to our guy, Donovan Mitchell, who scored a lousy 18 points last night. Right back on the over 25.5 points on Donovan Mitchell. Zach LaVine, over 20.5 points. We'll go on the other side of the court. And then Keegan Murray, 4+ rebounds. He gets that in his sleep. He averages almost 8, to tell you the truth. So add it all up. It's got the devil sign when I put it in this afternoon. 666. How about that for a payout, huh? Yeah, I gave it 664, but it was actually 666. Although, actually, when I put it in like an hour later, it was over 7. So it's got to be right around 6.5, 7 to 1. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how well you can see the hat, but this is the old school Sacramento Kings emblem.
Nice.
I love those uniforms and those teams, and I like Sacramento plus the points tonight. So take that for whatever it's worth. The Clippers were getting healthy for the first time in weeks yesterday against Cleveland.
Yeah.
We could both win this. Cleveland on the money line and Sacramento covers the spread. Okay. I think we might have to check the house rules, though, because I'm not positive, but I don't think LaVine is playing tonight. So we'll have to get confirmation from the boys. So that might change. That might change the payout, or we're going to have to put someone else in there. I do like the total over. The other props should get there. I told you that the Donovan Mitchell thing would be nerve-wracking yesterday. I was worried about that because you've said that about Mitchell many times. That was kind of a big game. It was ever – okay. So we just got confirmation from the boys that Zach LaVine is out. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Tired.
I will scratch him. We'll just make it a 4-1 payout, basically. Then.
All right.
That's okay.
That's fine.
We'll scratch him. Yeah. Rather than add on somebody, we'll just won't bother. Just take it at 4-1. Probably right around 4-1. Make it that much easier, that much more pressure on Donovan Mitchell. And seriously, we joke about him, right? I mean, he has just never hit a big shot in his life. But if Cleveland does not win, right, tonight, then they basically waved the white flag on the season. Because they were crushing teams like this, whether it's the Clippers or Sacramento, home or away. When Cleveland was Cleveland this season, they were winning. So this would be their third straight loss. So you would think, okay, this is going to be a monster, let's rally the troops effort out of Cleveland. And if you don't get that, then again, to me, that means, okay, not that they're bad or awful or anything along those lines, but from a betting standpoint, I would not trust Cleveland being Cleveland anymore if they lose tonight.
56-12 on the season. Okay.
Phenomenal,
the number one seed. Unbelievable. I think we have to involve them in the S&W. I think
so
lock up the East with the S&W and just pick the Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics and Cavs, just so we have a team in the finals in the NBA for the parlay. We just have to work our way around the West and try to figure out which team is going to represent the West. And I don't know if it's to go chalky and use OKC, but if it's not, we'll find it. But don't besmirch Cleveland all the way yet. Don't do that. I mean, they got to be having a little bit of fatigue, especially when they know they got the number one seed. We got to be healthy for the run. So, yeah, they might be dangerous to bet on.
There is a lot of basketball left, right? You said it in the break. There's just these seasons are just way too long. Well, we'll do a little three-team, three-league championship parlay next.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years. Getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes and ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you giving like the Any Given Sunday Inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We got to talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Hour number one, Scott and Dave until 10 p.m. Eastern time. A little hockey, a little NBA, and some college basketball as well. So before we get to our three-league, three-team championship parlay, couple of betting opportunities here, Dave, that kind of stand out. Knicks, big favorites. Talked about them with our betting trends. Down 11 at San Antonio first quarter, closing out the first quarter. Now laying only 1.5, albeit down 11. But you may want to put a couple shekels on the Knicks, figuring they're going to come back. Although without Brunson, I don't have that much faith. I mean, I could see them losing, but that would be one that kind of jumps off the page. Heat, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak, actually leading Detroit. You get the Pistons at Pick'em. What were they, like 5-6 point road favorites coming in? And those are about the only ones in the NBA. And in hockey, it's still 1-1 Colorado, Toronto, late second period.
Detroit closed either 4.5 or 4, depending on where you look. Detroit's been pretty good to us on this show when they are down. And they're playing a team that, again, I don't know what to make of the Heat. I mean, 29-39 record. They're 1-9 in their last 10. The Pistons are right now plus 105 on the money line. You would think they would come back and win tonight, but that sounds like a betting opportunity there. Coming up, Wizards in Utah at the top of the hour. This is a bettor's dream. There is no way. I saw tickets to this game tonight, $2. You could get in to this building tonight to see an NBA basketball game, if you want to call it that, for $2. Somehow the fees are $2.83. So it's still under a fin, but how can the fees be more than the value of the ticket? Drives me crazy. But how in the world can you come up with a favor for this game? I mean, this game should be pick 'em, no?
even in Utah, no offense, there's got to be something better to do than, hey, you spend more on parking, right? Literally, no joke. You're going to spend more on a hot dog and a burger and a beer, not all three combined, than you will for the actual ticket itself. I mean, literally, parking will cost you more. So there's got to be something else better to do. But if it's on the board, Washington's playing their best ball of the season, by the way. They won 3 in a row, going for a season best 4-game win streak. I think they won 3 in a row. Did they lose their last game? Or did they lose their, let me just double check.
Yeah, they lost their last game. They did. They're on a one-game losing streak. Yeah.
They were
I was going to say, they only have 15
right,
wins on the season, so there's no way they have a 4-game winning streak. That would be shocking. All right. So wait, do we have to do this thing now? We have a couple more open segments throughout the show where we can get to the futures parlay, right? All right.
By the way, I will say this real quickly. Washington, Utah, they're both tied for the worst record in the NBA.
Correct.
So which team wants it least? Right?
Cooper Flag sweepstakes game. This is it, baby. This is it. That's what I mean. There's always something that you can kind of look at betting wise and kind of come up with a narrative for. Even with, the two teams with the worst records in the league. I don't know. Over? Yeah. Maybe. Is anybody going to what do we do? They're going to be calling fouls. I mean, listen, you're the official of this game. You put that whistle in your pocket, Mr. Official. Right. We're letting this thing go. Unless you take someone out, we're not calling foul. Forget about it.
Yeah. This is the one where the officials get together before the game. That's what they say. Let's just get out of here. Let's just, get in.
Keep it moving, boys.
Keep it moving, boys. Just keep it moving. This won't even be on TV. No TV timeouts. Radio will probably cancel the game. Play classical music instead. Yeah, it's just like, All right, we can hold off the 3 teams. You need time to think about it until next hour if you want. We got the Zitto coming up. Then we got the Black Cloud. Then we got Dubs, and then we got the Cam. So we'll do it 9:30. We can do it 9:30 if you want. What's the next time?
Let's do it then. That'll give us time to simmer. In the business, we call that a tease. We'll talk about it. But I think we have the Eastern Conference locked up. We got to use Cleveland. We got to use Boston. We'll think about it. We'll work on a Western Conference NBA team. I think in the NHL, I'm keeping a close eye on the Colorado game, barring any injuries or anything like that. I think we'll end up using Colorado in the West. And then we'll come up with a couple teams. This NCAA though, this is going to be tough. This is going to be. I almost want to wait to put this thing in until next week because of this. Like we could figure out if there's going to be a couple upsets. I mean, it's going to chop the odds a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, we still hit it last year, paid 160 something to 1. So, I mean, we could get there. But I mean, you look at these regions. Look at this South region. It seems like so SEC heavy. Auburn there, Michigan State, the West region with, of course, another SEC team, number 1 seed, Florida, number 2, St. John's. I don't know. I'm having a tough time coming up with just 3 that I want to use for the college baskets.
The problem I'm having is the 3, it's chalk. Right. And you know how I'd rather be on the side of Vegas than the side of the public. The whole world thinks it's going to be Florida and Duke. You can actually get that at 6-1 or whether it's going to be, Houston or Auburn. Like there's really very few people predicting that the champion's going to be outside of those top 4. So you go with chalk. You don't get really great odds. But if you want a winner or do you want odds? Right. You pick your poison.
Yeah.
Do you really think the public, all these people who have brackets of Duke and Florida going to the finals, are they all going to be right? It's what the SEC dominated so much.
I can tell you this: it's a public week, the first week, and then it gets a little bit harder the second week. Because most of the teams that make it to the Sweet 16 are legit, really good teams, and winning 2 games on a neutral site the first weekend. It weeds itself out as we get to the Final 4. After that, man, it's a complete crapshoot. I don't know. I mean, we got to really look at the paths and try again to figure it out. I'm having a tough time trying to say, okay, it's only happened once. You said we're all 4 Final 4 teams were number 1 seeds. So which one is the one that isn't going to make it. Because I think the number's 2, but we got those graphics with actually picking the matchup. So there might, what'd you say, Duke and Florida? You said was 6-1?
Yeah.
That's a lot
Auburn,
of games
Duke,
you got to
8-1.
win. Yeah. You want to use the Dookie Pukey, so you do.
I saw this is a pretty good play. Conference to win the championship.
Okay.
SEC is Pick'em -115 on an offshore book I saw.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of good teams.
Without a doubt. So I mean, there it is. It's the surprising thing there to me isn't the SEC number, it's the ACC number. Plus 270, second choice for the ACC. I mean, that's Duke and nobody else. Like that. That's fine. I'd rather take the Duke number. I think I can get a little bit higher. The other one there that I think is interesting, I don't know what to make of Texas Tech. We get Texas Tech and Houston for the Big 12. That might be something to, right? Well, Iowa State is so beat up. I know, but I'm so worried about Iowa State even getting to the second weekend. They may have trouble in the second round with their game. So we'll see. I don't know. But, yeah, the numbers are really the disparity between, the SEC is the clear favorite, and then you try to come up with them other numbers. The prices are a little bit closer than I would have made them myself.
You know what's interesting? They got number of seeds to reach the Final Four. 4 is a higher payout than none. That's how rare 4 gets there. 4 is plus 940. None is plus 750. How about that?
Wow.
Mark Zeno coming up next. We'll talk some more basketball.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite 8 to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes and ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you're giving like the Any Given Sunday inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 tonight.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one, talking some baskets, little NCAA. We got two more play-in games tonight. First game is sailed by the over-under. They've hit that already. We got another game, Xavier in Texas, coming up in about an hour or so. So let's welcome in our next guest, good buddy Mark Zitto, seeing him all the time here on the grid. Get some winners from him. What's going on, Mark? How are you tonight, bud?
Scott, how we doing? Dave, I hope I filled in admirably enough to fill those large shoes while you were away,
yes,
gallivanting in Florida, just enjoying all the sun. I mean, it's good to have you back here, buddy.
Man, it's good to be back. Florida was great. Spring training is wild. That Yankee thing is something. I chose to see a couple other games because based on your recommendation and how hard it was to get a ticket and overpay for maybe seeing a guy or two, I said, nah, I'm not going to do it. So Bradenton for Pirates, Sarasota for Orioles was great. Saw a couple games. Weather was great. But it's basketball time, Zen. I mean, how dialed in? What is your next 4 days look like? How much does it overcome your life? Because, I mean, basically, I'm going to kiss the wife goodbye tomorrow morning, say hello to the kid, maybe see you before bedtime, maybe not. The next 4 days for me are crazy. What's it like for you?
It's just stress at this point. I mean, I see 100 different things in 20 different games, and I'm just trying to figure out and narrow down what I think is the best and the smartest play to make. So it gets very, very frustrating. Sometimes when you start to dissect the game, you like a certain angle, and then, you start doing research like, maybe I don't feel as good about that. And then you look at another game like, oh, this looks good. And you're like, maybe I don't feel that good about that. Or, everything looks good for this game. And then two other guys I really respect, they're on the opposite side. And so now I'm like, oh, God, well, now what am I going to do? So I've already been driving myself crazy. I've locked in my Thursday card already, not touching it. We're going to the wall with it, and we're good to go.
Okay, what a reveal. It's funny, the same thing for me. I started looking really seriously last night. I had some time, and I had some preconceived notions, Mark, and then you do some research, and like, oh, man, really? Maybe not, because this guy really likes them, and he brings up some good points. So give me a couple of winners for tomorrow night then. You don't have to reveal your whole card.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I go up and down the ledger here, I start to look at like a team like Yale getting 7.5. I mean, look, I think there's a legitimate chance they can win this game. A&M can't keep up with the shooting of Yale. Like, the game script for Yale is to make threes early, keep the game tight, and force Texas A&M to try and play a little bit of a faster pace, right? They have the veteran guys in their team, seniors that can shoot. I mean, this is a very interesting matchup. A&M's all about defense. Their offense is bad, but what they need is Yale to miss threes early and build a big lead, right? Like, that's kind of the game script that works for them. But if Yale at the end of the first half is like 6 for 10 from three, or even 5 for 10, like, it's going to be a real problem for A&M to be able to keep up offensively. So, oh, by the way, North Carolina is winning again. For as much as they didn't belong in this tournament, I was staunchly against them getting in this tournament. I bet them against San Diego State, and Ole Miss is ripe for the picking. They're going to win again here in the next round. So that's another game that I look at on Thursday as I continue to go up and down the board here.
What about tonight, Zin? Because the SEC is getting all the love, and I was at the SEC tournament in Nashville. Texas impressed me, but I don't know if that was as much maybe against Texas A&M or what, but I saw them in person and thought, okay, this line will be pick 'em, and it's going up. There's a lot of people on Xavier. Where are you at with this game tonight that's getting ready to start in the next 10 minutes?
I mean, look, nobody screamed about Texas being in this tournament. I screamed louder. If there was a case for somebody not to be in, North Carolina deserved to be in over Texas. Texas does not deserve to be in this tournament by any size, way, shape, or form. I got Xavier minus 2.5 tonight. I'm not, I look at this thing and I just look at Texas and I go, forget their quad 1 games. They were 3-5 in quad 2 games. Like, they couldn't even be over 500 in quad 2 games. So outside of some wins against Texas A&M, right? The win over Kentucky, I'll give them a notch to. But Oklahoma, like, Vanderbilt, these are not, quality teams. I mean, they lost to Arkansas, for crying out loud. They lost to Oklahoma. Yeah. They lost to South Carolina, who's terrible as far as SEC standards are concerned. So, I mean, I again, and their quad 2 wins were over LSU and NC State. Really? I don't think they can hang with it. The Big East was down, so I think a couple of those teams like Xavier got downgraded a little bit. They're better than what their record has shown. This is a team that hung with St. John's for all 40 minutes. I think that they are the right side tonight. Their shooting is going to carry them.
How many teams make the Final Four that are number one seeds? Dave and I were talking about that. Pick 0 through obviously 4. Only one. Okay.
Florida. My Final Four was Florida and Iowa State, Tennessee, and Arizona.
Wow.
Arizona's beating Duke.
You're really going off the board.
I don't think it's off the board. Look,
Iowa State, you're not worried about all the injuries?
To Iowa State? Well, they should be healthy again. I mean, I think if they get past this first weekend, they're going to be a really dangerous team. They fit the profile, right? We talk about top 20 in offensive efficiency, top 30 in defensive efficiency. They're better than that. I think when you look at Iowa State and you start to figure out, that matchup against Auburn in the Elite Eight, which I think ends up happening, they just defensively can cause a lot of problems for a very athletic team. They're used to seeing athletic teams in the Big 12, like Arizona, who's hyper athletic. Purdue gets up, not Purdue, I'm sorry. What do you call it? BYU gets up and down and they shoot a ton of threes. These are teams that they're used to seeing, that play a certain style and a certain pace. And really they can handle it, Texas Tech to a certain extent, that's a really good shooting team. But when you look at, the teams that play fast in the Big 12, there's a bunch of them. So, I mean, they're well equipped to handle Auburn. And look, it's not that I don't like Auburn. I just think that they're bound to get tripped up. But, it's a repeated history thing for me. I just think that Bruce Pearl and Auburn are destined to end up being a little bit disappointed when it's all said and done.
Hang a little bit for the next segment because you're talking about the Big 12, and I want to ask you about Houston because you don't have Houston in your Final Four, but you have another Big 12 team.
And you're going to be surprised at who I have beaten them.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and talk more from Mark Ditto on the grid here on a wonderful Wednesday.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes and ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you're giving like the Any Given Sunday inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid, talking some hoops with our good buddy Mark Zitto. We'll get to the Black Cloud here in a little bit, but Mark, just to kind of pick up on that, you got one number one seed going to the Final Four, Florida. No Auburn. I agree with that. No Dookie Pukey. That's a tough one. And then no Houston either, right?
Yeah, well, let's address the Duke thing first because I have Arizona coming out of that bracket. I mean, you have to look at styles make fights. Arizona is one of the teams, or at least the one team in that bracket, outside of Alabama, that can run up and down as much as Duke can. Right? True. They are such an athletic team. They're very good on the glass. They don't shoot a ton of threes. They're not a great three-point team, but they win inside. And if you're going to look to neutralize Cooper Flagg, Arizona has the athletes to do it. And that's really what it boils down to. And look, and here's the other thing. You know, Duke really is going to find out how the other half lives when they get out of the ACC. I know they were good earlier in the year, but there's a difference between beating ACC opponents by 30 and then doing that and not being in tight games in the tournament, which they haven't had to do. How are they going to be in tight games? I mean, we don't know how well they live in those tight moments because they've never had to do it.
Yep. We need to know who you have beating. Okay. That's we'll never know, I guess. Yeah. Well, I'm curious who he had beating Houston. That was the whole. Right. So he's back. Hopefully we'll find him, get him back. We only got a couple minutes left in the segment, but I can't wait to see who he has beaten. Houston. Oh, he's back.
Well, anyway, back.
He's back.
I'm back. Anyway, so I have Arizona
beating Houston.
Clemson.
What?
Here's the thing. Again, styles make fights. Like, everybody's picking McNeese over Clemson, and I kind of understand it. But Clemson is another team that profiles exactly like a national champion when you talk about offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. They fly under the radar on how good they are because they play in a conference with Duke. Remember, only team to beat Duke in the ACC this year. But what's the other thing that Clemson does? Clemson grinds the pace down. They play the same exact game as Houston, so they can take Houston's game and throw it right in their face. Because that's what Houston is good at, right? Houston is good at taking you and making you play their style, slow the pace down, and grind you against the glass and beat you inside. Clemson can do the exact same thing. Like, that is how that's how Clemson wins games. And so I think with that matchup right there, that's really what I look at. And the defensive rating for Clemson is so good. You know, Clemson wants to keep every game below 70. Like, that, you know, what's the under in Houston Clemson going to be? $121? Right? Like, is that what we're talking about
here?
Be
low. I don't know if it'll be that low. It's going to be. It's going to be low. You're right.
So I think that's where Houston really gets tripped up, is because, you know, if styles make fights, this is a style that Clemson is used to. You're not going to scare them into playing a slow tempo.
I need a yes or no answer in 10 seconds because we got to get to this Black Cloud play tonight. Are the Dodgers going to lose a baseball game this season?
Yeah. Yes. Those one
ridiculous.
I mean, this is the stupidest
200
in Japan, and you know, and then they come back and play spring training games again. What the hell are we doing? And then, man, wants to start the season the day of the Sweet 16. Good job, Rob. Good thinking.
What are we doing?
I got an idea. Let me turn off the Sweet 16 to go watch the Pirates and Reds. Like, what is wrong with you? You had a whole Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to start the season when there was no basketball on. He picks the day of the Sweet 16. Good call.
Yeah, good call.
That's what they should have done. And then to come back and play more exhibition games. That's what's idiotic as well. Play next Monday, Tuesday. There you go. And then you fly back Wednesday, resume the season for those guys on Friday if you want to over the weekend.
Very simple.
Right.
Very
simple.
All right, Mark. Good job, man. Appreciate it. A couple minutes. We'll do it again soon.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
You got it, man. All right. Mark Zitto. Baseball's so crazy. It is. All right. Black Cloud play of the daytime. We got suckered in. I got it. We got suckered in last night. Really, you know, we had somebody with it. We had North Carolina. We had the Otani. We had the Dodgers. And we went on the dopey Cleveland Cavaliers to snap our long run of Black Cloud winners. So back to the board we go. Otani with a home run. We should have went right back to Otani last night. Really should have. But and no way North Carolina was losing. Let's grab Portland plus 4.5, Dave. Bottom line is the Memphis Grizzlies are 2-13-1 against the spread their last 16 games. I mean, that is just horrible. And now they're road favorites by 4.5 against the Jailblazer team that's 9-2 against the spread their last 11 as home dogs. Give me Portland plus
Kids
4.5.
don't even know what you're referencing when you say Jailblazers. Let's go Portland. Come on, Trailblazers.
They said, like, did he just say Jailblazers? And Phil doesn't even know the team's name.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes and ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you're giving like the Any Given Sunday inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And welcome in-game live game day, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott and Dave, a lot to get to on this busy Wednesday as we get set for the NCAA real tournament, which starts tomorrow. But we do have some play-in games tonight. One's already in the books. Another one is starting, Texas Xavier. So let's get some thoughts from our good buddy, Dubs Anderson, who joins us all the time here on the grid. What's going on, Dubs? How are you tonight? I know you're on Texas and Xavier, are you not?
Yeah, absolutely, boys. The Longhorns at a long price. We're getting that plus money. I truly think it looks to be a toss-up. It should be a close one. There's a lot of juice here, a lot on the line, and we're still getting a nice little number here. If you look at the resumes, you'd say, well, Xavier's the better basketball team. That's not the case. I'm looking at the merit of some of the W's that we have seen throughout the season. Texas, they're a better basketball team. There's a lot on the line. They are going to step up and get it done. It should be a very close scorer here, but I think they will prevail.
Boy, Dubsy, it's great to see you. You're really classing up the joint when you come in here. They tell us you got stuff more than golf. I love when you come in, and you do the full circuit in the gym. You still skip leg day. Everybody knows it. But you didn't skip the NBA tonight. You got to play in the NBA that is really not surprising based on, Wetzel super trends and things like that. What do you like tonight in basketball in the NBA?
Give me Shot-Town, baby girl. I love me some Bulls. Tell you what, playing good basketball. They've won 4 of the last 5. They're rolling. The Phoenix Suns, they suck. That's the analysis. 27-41-1 against the number this season. For Phoenix, They haven't been good ATS. They haven't been good straight up. The wheels have come off. I can hear the squeaky sauce from here. And you look at Chicago when they have been discounted as big-time dogs. They've come up with a win right around 39% straight up here. So I like Chicago. I like them getting the points. I think it will be a high scorer, but I think they're absolutely going to smash it towards the overs. Keep it close enough, and we get the dub.
All right. Now, some guys come on here, Dubs, and they can only do NBA. Some guys can only do football. Some only basketball. Exactly, right? But you, multi-dimensional, you even got hockey tonight on the board with only 2 games. How about that?
Yeah, and look, some may say Uncle Dubsy, the Swiss Army knife, the Rolodex of sports betting, if you will. I can throw in a bit of golf, a couple of pony mix as well. Tell you what, I'm licking the wounds. I went after the Grand Salami yesterday. You boys know I've got a bit of a system in chasing that when there's a big slate. But we're going to chase for this one the Seattle Kraken boys going against the Minnesota Not So Wild. We're getting them at a nice little number. They're playing some good hockey. You look at the first 2, it's been a split so far from what we have seen. Both are flying towards the overs. I think they're going to bode well off that big road win last out. I think they'll run it back again here this evening. A nice little 5-4 kind of victory coming up for the Seattle Kraken on the road, away ice. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere over there in Minnesota where there's really not a lot going on. So they're going to be a little down the dumps, especially after tonight once they get the L.
My goodness, this is impressive. I feel like you just stepped right on the ice on the
Give me another sport, Sharapan. Give me another sport.
I'm going to tee you up right now. Listen, we're in the tee box right now on the first tee discussing where we're going to go, and we're looking ahead to the Masters. Everybody's looking ahead to the Masters, and a lot of people are looking ahead to this weekend in March Madness. But a guy like Dubsy, the Swiss Army knife, is looking at, now I don't want to say it wrong, I'm going to let you say it, Valspar? Is there Valspar plays in Dubsy's bag right now?
What is Valspar? Isn't that like, don't they make the paint? They make the paint or something. But look, this is a good little tournament. It's known for, get this, the Snake Pit. The Snake Pit's coming in hot here for the PGA Tour. Good tournament. Seen a lot of repeat winners. Surprisingly, we've got a couple of thoroughbreds shaping up for this one tomorrow morning. Tommy Fleetwood's going to be the shortest price on the board. Sorry, it's tough to trust the best set of lettuce on the PGA Tour. But I tell you what, a guy that's absolutely trending in the right direction right now is Justin Thomas. He's got shot making. It's going to be a tough course. There's going to be a bit of Mother Nature coming into play. And what we saw last Friday looked to be the Justin Thomas of old. And we're getting him in a B-plus kind of field at 20-1 at plus 2,000. JT's looking towards the Masters. I think that probably takes a little bit of pressure off his shoulders. He'll be looking around on Sunday afternoon, and it's going to be absolutely crickets in terms of other big names that he sees making a charge on Sunday afternoon. JT has to keep the big stick in play. If he does so, with that flat stick and regaining a bit more confidence, we saw it Friday through Sunday last week at the Players. He's red hot. He's primed for a big one in a nice-looking spot here, and we're getting a nice-looking price at plus 2,000. So I love JT in the outright market. If we're looking for a little plus money, a little safer bet, what about the Irish Bear? Shane Lowry. He saw his good mate, Roy McIlroy, get the win on Monday. Shane's playing some really good golf himself. I don't like him on a bomb and gouge 22, 23 under par kind of golf course. We don't get that with Copperhead this week over there at Innisbrook. I think 12, 13 under par could be enough to get the biscuits. We're getting Shane Lowry plus 180 to finish inside the top 20. Again, I love what I'm seeing on the tour this year out of Big Shane. I think he'll be rolling off the good vibes of seeing Rory get it done there earlier in the week. And I think it's a really good golf course for a guy that can work the ball both ways. And he has that short game. You need to get up and down out of a ball wash this week to stay in the hunt. Everyone's going to have bogeys. You may have doubles, but you have to keep it going on that scorecard. Shane Lowry, Justin Thomas, they are both grinders. I think it's going to put them right in the mix on Sunday afternoon.
All right. Toronto just scored. They lead Colorado 2-1, so early third period. Who's cutting down the nets, and do you have any kind of surprises or anything goofy in the NCAA tournament, Dubs?
Well, I mean, crafting up brackets like they're going out of fashion. A team I didn't mind for a bit of a run, and may put me onto them here, was the Maryland. Now, I can barely say it here, but what we have seen going against some of the Big Ten teams earlier this year. I think they've got enough juice to maybe trouble some of the bigger programs, maybe sneak into the Final Four at a little plus 900. I believe they're one of the only schools who has a starting five that's all averaging over double digits, so they can score with the best of them. You look at the defensive efficiency as well. That's strong on that side of the ball. So watch out for Old Maryland and make a bit of a run at a monster number. The Terps. I think that's my adopted team, boys. You know, the Aggies, Texas A&M, that's the alma mater. But I think for this one, Terps at a big price trying to make a bit of a charge. I love the March Madness, boys. You know, I came across from Australia and I'm like, you really get into the college basketball this month, in the month of March, but the bracket, the format, the energy, the storylines, it really is second to none. And every team on their night can come up with a big one. It's a showdown of the coaching edges, making those adjustments. So absolutely here for it, boys. Got plenty of tickets in the mix as well.
I love it. That's good to hear because, you know, I was a little worried about you maybe getting involved in the basketball because you've been doing all the prep work for the Derby and all that other horse racing stuff that I know you got going on. I need to ask you, though, because you're a late night guy. I know sometimes you stay up late. Did you watch the Dodgers last night from Japan? Did you have any Dodger props? Did you have any Ohtani, anything? I mean, you're out in L.A., I mean, we hung out at the Dodger Stadium that day. That was so much fun, you and I and some other people. Dubs, are you a Dodger fan now officially?
Showtime, Ohtani. Look, they're okay, but I'm a bit of a sellout. Biggest investment I made, Padres, to make the playoffs at even money. And Sharapan, I remember when we were out at Chavez Ravine, you let me eat my nachos, and then you took my Dodger cap. You took the Dodger cap that had the nachos in it to give one of the kids. Who does that? What a guy.
Wow.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Thanks to Dubs Anderson for joining us, giving some thoughts. That basketball game will tip off in just a couple of moments. I do like Texas. Again, Xavier, give me the points, 2.5 points. Probably sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Oh, I see the money line's down to plus 110 now. So it's basically next to nothing. So you might as well grab the 2.5 points just in case. So do like that, Dave. We got a bunch of the games, obviously, tomorrow. Ultimately for you, we haven't really talked about this with all the goofy bets that we make here. Ultimately, who do you think's winning the NCAAs?
So pre-matchup, pre-looking at the bracket, I really had Houston highly rated. And I mean, Zeno kind of made me think, and this is what happens. You get paralysis by analysis for 3 days. You talk about what could happen and what matchup and who could take out your team. I still think Houston is going to be in San Antonio. What happens once we get there, I don't know. If the right matchup is on that side of the bracket, I think they're in the final game. So that's my team on that side. The other side, man, I've gone back and forth. And I really don't know yet. I haven't decided. I really want to say could be St. John's, but all these metrics and things indicate that it's not them. I don't think it's Auburn. I don't think it's Michigan State. So it would have to be a 3 seed on that side of the bracket, which would be Iowa State. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Scott, I don't know. So I might end up with really Houston and Auburn. That's disgusting. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I think Duke. I'm going to go chalk. They got an easy road, relatively easy road to the Final Four. They're playing all their games at home, whether it's North Carolina or New Jersey, which is a second home for Duke. So they got an easy run from that standpoint to the Final Four. I don't like Houston. They're a dumb basketball team. I've seen too many times close games where they just play stupid basketball. It's what killed them last year, killed them 2 years ago, and it's going to give poor Kelvin Sampson a heart attack. Same thing. So I don't think they have what it takes to win it all. I hate to go chalk. I really do with Duke versus Florida. But I think Duke gets to the final. I don't like Auburn. Can St. John's beat Florida? I don't think so. So I'm going to go chalk. And you get a halfway decent price at 6-1. That's a lot of wins. If you rolled over a $50 bet on Florida and a $50 bet on Duke, would you end up being more than 6-1? Probably, but who wants to do that? It's inconvenience. You're paying the price for convenience. Just give me Duke and Florida and just shut up and be done with it, right? So,
as much as you do on your phone and all the different things, it's not that big of an inconvenience. Like, think about the days when you actually had to go into the book, make the bet, get the paper ticket, keep the paper ticket in the car. Whether you keep them in between the seat in front of you or, you have a special stash area, then you're going to go back the next day, roll it over again. That's inconvenient. I mean, on the app, it's not that inconvenient. You either don't want to do it or you got too many other things going on. I mean,
Well, the problem also is you're going to take those winnings and then you're going to roll it over into a bet that you're going to lose. And then you'll take the winnings from the next game and you'll roll those bets or those winnings into a bet you're going to lose. And at the end, the $100 you were going to make or the $600 you were going to make got thrown away on St. Mary's minus 4.5 against Vandy, or Maryland laying 10.5 against Grand Canyon.
Discipline.
That's the problem. Yeah.
You got to have the discipline. Just go in, do your thing. There's a contest here. One of the casinos. I've never done it, but I think I'm going to do it this year because we got a couple days where, we're off here. So it's called the Last Man Standing. You pick one winner against the spread every day, and you just go on to the next day. And literally the last man standing gets all the cash. So it goes until somebody is left standing. If everybody loses on the last day, say there's 4 people, they chop it up. And it's a small entry. So I think I'm going to do that. I might have to text you and Vinny and the boys and see if we can come up with a game. We might have to do one, for the crew. But the goal, obviously, is to get to Sunday, and then you can, you have a breather. You have to pick an NCAA tournament game every day. That's all you have to do. Lines come out whenever they come out. One game per day, and you're good to go. Survive in advance, just like the tournament.
All right. That's pretty cool. How about would you lay 32.5 with Duke against Mount St. Mary's? Because that's the line. 140.5 they just came out with a little while ago. Can Mount St. Mary's, here's my favorite little bet, right? If Mount St. Mary's can score 55 points, you're guaranteed a split. So you got 2 free bets. Because in order for Duke to cover the 32.5, the game would then have to go over. So 55 is your demarcation line. Can Mount St. Mary's score 55? And does that tell you that Cooper Flagg is playing?
That tells me that he's playing.
If he's not? He's got it, right?
Right. Right. He's got to be playing. Well, I think you have to make the line, from the oddsmaker standpoint, you have to make the line with him playing. Because if he's not, what do you make the line? 29, something like that? I mean, you still have to make it high because who in the world is going to bet on them against Duke? So let's find the high point of the number. We'll go from there. No, I would not be interested. I don't really get involved with the 16-1 seeds, even with the point spread. It's so random, and the numbers are really so good. Duke's going to win by more than 25, but are they going to win by 32? I don't know. So, that might be. Let's hope that Mount St. Mary's starts fast. Gets a couple baskets early. It's 6-6, and the line comes down to 27 or 26.5. Then you can jump in. You got to lay under 30. You can't lay more than 30 in a basketball game, can you? That's tough.
I'll say Mount St. Mary's 22-11-1 against the spread now after tonight's cover.
You're playing Duke.
Yeah, you got to have a reason to beat a team by 35 points, right? Does Duke have a reason to beat Mount Stinking St. Mary's, for goodness sakes?
I don't even know how much he's going to play, right? I mean, just get him out there and get some reps.
At all? Why? But that's it, right? Maybe just get some reps.
Got to get reps.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, all right, we'll take a look at the numbers. There's a game underway that I really like. Come back.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite 8 to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you're giving like the Any Given Sunday Inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 tonight.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live. Game day here on the grid. What do we got? 24 past the hour number 2. So a little college basketball, a little NHL, a little NBA tonight. I'll get to the Knicks game here in a second. What a joke that is. But there were actually a couple of games. We didn't get a chance to throw that out there, Dave. One is you can't bet it. Well, maybe you could. They're coming back a little bit. I did like Bradley tonight. I generally don't pay too much attention to the NIT.
Wow.
It's just who knows who's playing, who wants to play, right? But the one thing I did notice, though, is, boy, don't bet any unders in these NIT games. Nobody's playing deep. I think all of them went over last night. So I like Bradley laying 4.5. They're up 10, but it was like close to 20 not that long ago. So North Alabama's coming back a little bit, but I still like Bradley, the better team. And the other one I really liked, Missouri Valley. I followed that a little bit closer just because I went to Southern Illinois. This Northern Iowa team is a pretty good team. They were getting 9.5 tonight at SMU. They're leading by 3, albeit early on, midway through the first half, 18-15. Mine is still 5.5. I would still take that, but I think they got a chance to win this thing outright. SMU, they wanted to be in the NCAA tournament. They don't want to be hosting some dopey NIT game. Northern Iowa. It's not even Iowa. It's Northern Iowa, right? What state are they in, for goodness sakes? So I think Northern Iowa can win outright. I did like those.
You almost got me with a what the fudge. I felt it coming. You almost got me with that one. Mount St. Mary's did win 83-72 in their game. Xavier and Texas are underway. It's 5-5 at the first TV timeout. So we'll have to keep an eye on that the rest of the way. Like you said, 32.5, not interested. I'm impressed with your I don't want to call it secondary tournament knowledge, but no one, and I mean no one, is looking at the NIT. Nobody. This is one of those things. We would take bets from people on these games and go, whoa, what is that guy doing? Why is he betting that? So you come in and you start firing on that. Like, there's a couple games tonight, Northern Colorado, UC Irvine, Utah Valley against San Francisco. The Dons hosting Utah Valley, who I saw playing here in Vegas against Grand Canyon. That's not a bad basketball team. They're getting 6.5. Might be a play there. I like that game over because Utah Valley shoots a 3, keeps shooting a 3. Surprised that thing's under 150. But that's the extent of my NIT discussion. I got nothing left. You got it all right there in 2 minutes. That's it.
That's it. All right. Are the Knicks done? Down 17 at San Antonio. That's early third quarter. 72-55. I mean, you're giving up 72 points in basically, 2.5 quarters, not even, to the San Antonio stinking Spurs. Man, these teams just don't play any defense. Just no defense. Heat's still leading by 5 against Detroit, so the Pistons kind of hanging around there a little bit. Dallas might win in Indiana. They're up 36 seconds left. If you want to take a little flyer on the Pacers, I don't know who's got the ball, but they are giving you plus 350. Indiana at home. I didn't think Dallas was going to beat anybody else outside of Philadelphia.
Right.
And lo and behold, they might win a nice little road game there.
Speaking of Philadelphia, they're down 80-61 with 8 minutes left in the third. The in-game number for that is 21.5. So that was good laying 12 or 11.5, whatever you got pregame. Yeah. It still ain't enough. It's 21.5, and it still ain't enough. I'm not interested in that. This is funny. The one book I'm looking at here has a dog price on the money line, but no favorite price because there's too many zeros. It's 20. You can get 25-1 on the dog, but you can't lay the favorite because we can't. There's no number we can put in there that's big enough. It's over 100-1. So they just took off the dog price on the money line too. So basically conceding that. Washington Wizards up early, 28-24 in Utah. How about that? We talked about that. Gotta have a dog there. All right.
You know what the crazy thing is, Dave? Like Philadelphia, Washington, Utah, right? They can't. If you could have them end the season tomorrow, they would say, yeah, definitely. But there's 15 games. There's 15 games. We're not talking 4 or 5 games coming down the backstretch here. No, there's 15 more games to be played for these teams. I mean, if Philadelphia is giving you this kind of effort against 5 scrubs on the OKC bench, I mean, what are they going to be like the final 4 or 5 games?
We'll be talking about baseball by then. More
Yeah.
Dodger talk. Yeah, we'll be talking about the Dodgers. Maybe the Mets.
I saw a bet on Vegas. Will a team have a 13-game winning streak or more this year? Pick 'em.
We'll come back. That's a good.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes and ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room? Like, you giving like the Any Given Sunday inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like, I just don't get how he is still employed. We got to talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Yeah, just going over some of the baseball. So I found, listen, there's all kind of goofy props out there, Dave. So the prop I saw was, will any team have a 13, basically over 12.5? So will they have a 13-game winning streak? That was one bet. And then another one was, will a team have a 13-game losing streak? Now, we saw the White Sox lose 21 in a row last year, so that's certainly a possibility. Much to my surprise, right, the longest winning streak last year was only 11, or did we say 12? 11 or 12?
11. 11.
12.
Okay, let's 12. All right.
And it was by the I think if I gave people like 5 guesses, literally, I think if we gave people,
you could give them 10.
6, 7 guesses, right? They would never guess this. Never. It wasn't even a playoff team. It was the Minnesota Twinkies.
That's
April 22nd to May 4th. They won 12 in a row.
100% you could have given people 10 guesses.
Yeah.
And I don't think most people would have gotten it with the Twins not being a playoff team, 3 teams from the AL Central. That's the thing. One of those teams that plays the White Sox, you play them 3 games in a row, and you play someone else, and you play the White Sox again 3 games in a row, or a 4-game series. Right. You could string together a 10 pretty easily when 7 of the games are against the White Sox early. So I think, one of the guys here on a different network, Gil, does he's a really baseball analytical guy and looks at the schedule and tries to figure out there's a great bet for the team with the most wins per month. And I think that's something we can look at as we get close to April. We'll try to look at a team or 2 and go, okay, let's take a shot at this. Because you have action every day with one bet, and I mean, you don't want to be inconvenienced on betting on that team every day. So I like this bet. You get 20-1 odds, 25-1 odds, 15-1 odds on different teams. It's a fun action bet, and you can find some real value in teams because it's not always the best team. It's the team with the best schedule and the way the pitching sets up.
Now that's research. Right? Like when you go into a team schedule, well, that's like, okay, you know what? There you go. That's a professional bettor. That's the guy who does this for a living.
That's what you do. Yeah, that's what I mean. Listen, baseball. I think you really have to love baseball to bet baseball. I mean, there's guys that literally just bet baseball and just look at numbers and don't watch games and stuff. But if you like the game at all, you can dive into a bunch of different markets and all kinds of things. I loved it. I mean, that was there were guys looking to take vacations and all this other stuff. Give me the baseball board every day. We'll do some maneuvering. We'll do some things. The preseason baseball stuff, making the season win totals, coming up with, who's going to have the most home runs. You could ask a guy like Vinny. He's going to give you the Mets all the time. So you can't have that, so you got to have different things. And it's fun. I truly love the baseball betting. And I feel like you're talking about streaks. Like you can catch a team on a streak, good or bad, right? There's times when there's teams that are playing and the lineup's not hitting, or the bullpen has been, beat up, and you can go against them. Whereas you could get on a team like Minnesota and catch a 12-game winning streak, man, that's money.
Vin is the type of guy where you see him walking to the counter, right? And I bet you guys say, all right, bump up the line, 20 points on the Mets. Hurry up before he gets here.
Comes the Mets guy.
It's not 140, it's 160. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, Ben. They just moved it. Just as you were walking to the counter. It's done by computers. Sorry, brother.
Well, do you remember, calling the guy? When you had to call the guy? I mean, you had to come up with different tricks. Like, one time when you called, you asked for the dog line, and then you bet the dog. But the next time you called, you asked for the dog line, and he, pumped it up, down, and you said, all right, give me the other side. Give me the favorite, and you could never bet the same team 3 times in a row. That was a telltale sign that you were a fan, or, he could see you coming and like in a uniform or something. Yeah, so there's all kind of games that had to be played back in the day that the kids, they'll never know what it was like with Louis the Lip. It's just too easy nowadays.
Yeah. If you were only going to, by the way, Texas 21-13 over Xavier early on, laying 3.5 now as 2.5-point underdogs. And empty net situation in hockey. Toronto's up 2-1. And there's on my screen about 56 seconds left. So Colorado needs to get one to tie it, send it to overtime. If you were going to play either or, favorites or underdogs, and then unders or overs, blanket the whole second round. Well, first round, because first round is really where all the fun is. So you willing to go all overs, all unders, all favorites, all underdogs? Which one do you think turns out to be a winner?
A friend of mine, Ralph Michaels is his name. You see him on different platforms. Major Talk being one of them, right? Ralph's a great guy. He sends out this guide, with trends and stuff, and trends are your friends until they're not. I've been saying that, like I said, for decades. For the last 5 years, if you bet unders in the first round of the NCAA tournament, just blindly bet all the unders, you're hitting at 59.5%. 59.5% betting the unders. Now, favorites, 51.5%. So just barely over when you lay the points with the favorites. Now, it's no bargain betting the dogs, in that situation, because it's not enough to be winning either way. I've said it now for years. It's the truth, and it's only getting better. The numbers this week, there'll be a lot of patting on the back for odds makers this week. The numbers are tight. The games are going to fall. Now, the first game tonight, Mount St. Mary's, the total closed 128. It finished with 150-something. That's an anomaly. The games in the tournament, watch the sides. The sides are really tight. The totals you can still mess up because of the neutral site thing. But I'm telling you, man, them sides, you're going to fall within a point or two on a lot of games.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Going to be great. I looked at some of the lines last night. You know, you got Purdue, 7.5-point favorite over High Point. I told you, some of these teams, whether it's High Point, whether it's McNeese State, whether it's, I don't know about Wofford, but somebody's goofy, Yale. See, the problem I have with Yale is they upset Auburn last year. And to ask a team, like a lot of people are on Yale's bandwagon, right? Good team, won the Ivy regular and postseason. To be able to upset a team twice back-to-back NCAA tournaments, I don't know. You know, Buzz Peterson's a pretty good head coach, Texas A&M. He's got to be reading these kids the riot act. Don't trust. They beat Auburn last year. They didn't beat just some schmuck team. They beat Auburn last year, fellas.
Right.
So they're going to take this team seriously. And, you know, if A&M takes the team seriously, I think they're better than Yale. That's my problem with Yale, even getting 7.5 tomorrow.
Okay. Well, there's going to be teams like that. I'm sure we'll find them. You know, we got Cam coming up. Maybe he has a couple dogs. I mean, he's been able to find a couple, you know, over the years, a couple dumpster dives with teams that nobody really wants. Maybe he'll come on, say like Lipscomb or Liberty against Oregon or something. I don't know. There's some really interesting dogs that I think they always draw attention, but they don't always get to the window. It's one of those things. People come out to Vegas like, oh, I'm going to come out. I'm going to bet all the dogs. And then by Friday, they're like, you know what? That wasn't so much fun. I just bet all these games and I didn't cash enough tickets. So it changes your mind after you don't get to the window very often.
That's what I thought about doing, right? Even if it's just $10. Give me $10 at every single money line underdog. You just, you know, have some fun. Hopefully it comes out until you go, you know.
If you do the money line, that's different.
3-28.
You know, you got a shot. Yeah.
All right, Cam Stewart coming up next. Toronto wins 2-1. He'll be in a good mood.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you're giving like the Any Given Sunday inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And welcome back in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave talking some hoops. The odds of picking a perfect bracket, 1 in 9.2 quintillion. How many digits are in quintillion? Who's the one, you ask? Our next guest, Cam Stewart, who's got all the winners. What's going on, Cam?
My girlfriend's bracket looks good. If Drake and friggin' Grand Canyon go to the Elite Eight, I'm like, just pick names. I don't care. Honestly, Dave, I filled out like 6 brackets today for like bar pools. I didn't even get in Morenzi's pool yet. I'm like, I'm already bracketed out. This thing hasn't even started yet. Just filling out, do I want to do something different here? And what do I do? Do I ride this team in one and not the other? I got a headache, man. We haven't even started playing these games, and we're betting the games. I'm not even just betting like the futures of the tournament. So these brackets are driving me wild. It is March Madness. But Scott, you were talking about Yale. That's a team that's probably going to make my list. And I'm going deep with two of my dogs to win a couple of games. I got Drake and Grand Canyon going to win a couple rounds there. So those are 2 teams that I'm going to be riding. Hopefully that works out well for me. And if it does, we'll have some money. But you said it, Dave. Dave brought up the best point. These lines are sharp. It's not our first rodeo. We used to go down and do shows there at the Golden Nugget Room, and you know what I mean. These Dave, you remember all the people on their hands and knees, like praying. You're winning in thousands, like on a free throw there, kind of like owning Mahoney with his dinner party there with the girlfriend over. Please miss the free throw. You know what I mean? And that's going to come down to that stuff. That's just the numbers are sharp as a Ginsu. They're fantastic, and the books usually do well. I don't think they're really intimidated or scared by anybody coming into this thing because they seem to be on the right sides a lot of the time. Try not to find those public dogs, but it's hard. Like, I don't know which ones. I told you I'm taking Drake plus 6.5. Scott, you made a great point. Yale, I like Yale 7.5. I think they can play. Those are a couple. And I told you Grand Canyon. VCU's another team, but BYU's damn good. It's hard, man. Like, it's really hard. Maybe you take like the teams that like what dog? Like, who's going to the window and saying, I want Nebraska Omaha plus 18.5 against St. John's? Or who's the other one there?
High Point.
Law and Order SVU. Oh, I like High Point. Actually, right. I think Purdue are notorious gaggers. They're notorious chokers in this tournament.
I think the Big Ten is becoming the conference. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday with the Mountain West in a playing game. It didn't end well for San Diego State. The Big East, the Big Ten is looking like a fade, and we talked about it quickly during the break, is that a lot of people are picking against Michigan with UC San Diego. You said you like Michigan in that game.
I do.
You like Michigan?
Do. Okay. I do. Gabe and I talked about this game, and I know he's a Michigan guy, but it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with San Diego's size. Their biggest guy is 6'7". Michigan, and I like the way they handle their business against Wisconsin. They're a good team. The thing about UC San Diego is they're a very, very trendy dog. Like that, you want to talk about a trendy dog? Everybody's talking about these guys too. So I don't know. I just think Michigan is in a spot where they're going to win this game, and we're going to be on the air for it. I think they're just a better team, and I would not be shocked if Michigan won a few games, to be honest with you. But I'm on Michigan in this spot, and I know I'm tempted, Scott, to take all these dogs that you talk about, and I guess if you play money line dogs and you get one at like 15-1, that could pay for things. But you need an upset of a team of like 12 or more points to make it like really, really worth your while. You can't have one of these like 2.5, like the Creightons, the VCUs of the world. Those are really, really small dogs. But I'm going to be playing. I know I'm playing Drake tomorrow. I know I'm playing Michigan. Those games I've already bet, and I'm on Drake big. I really think it's a bad matchup for Missouri with Drake's style. Their clamp down defense.
Yeah, and you're not even getting that much on the money line, right? Like if you took Yale and Drake, Yale is plus 260 on the money line. Drake is only 2-1. It's like you can have 4, 5, 6 losses. All right, so you win Yale, wow, the 13 seed, or Drake 11 seed, but you're only getting 2-1. You're hardly making up for all those other losses.
Who's going up to the window and say, give me Law and Order SIU Edwardsville? What? Like we're talking about like Special Victims Unit, Special Institution University, Edwardsville? That's the guy. That's the dog you might like, that one guy. Give me Edwardsville plus 28.5 against Houston, please. Like that's something I don't know who's betting these teams, but I guess those are the dogs, Dave. Like you tell me, Dave.
I will say
you've
this,
worked in the book before, right?
I'm going to bet them because I'm going to bet the over. And if SIU Edwardsville can score 48 points, then I got 2 free bets. So
No, it makes sense.
I'll get SIU and then the over.
I love SIU Edwardsville. People are like, oh, you're going, what the hell, SIU? Anyway,
Well,
yeah,
that's the one where when you use the game numbers in Vegas and somebody comes up and the first time you hear it is 761 is the game number. And you're like, 761? What is that? And you look down and you're like, wait, that's SIU Edwardsville? Wow,
SIU
okay.
Edwardsville.
And you print the ticket quick, yeah. So you're very surprised. People might be surprised that there's a golf tournament going on this weekend.
Yes, I'll give you know what? I'm going to breeze through this thing too. We're not even going to go. I'm going to give you some outrights and first round leaders are very, very important in this tournament because when I wake up and I have a first round leader, we can roll these afternoon bets into night NCAA. So this is what I'm banking on. If I had a first round leader, which I've been better at because I can't hit a damn tournament winner, but first round leaders have been very good for me this year. Hey, Dave, we got to tell the truth here on SportsGrid. It's tough.
I love it.
I'm not lying, but first round leaders are my bag, and hopefully we can do it again. Will Zalatoris 40-1. Jake Afternoon Nap 60. I also have him to win. Wow. Jacob Bridgman. Watch out for this guy. A top 10 machine trending in the right direction. Corey Connors almost won the Players. 66-1 for the Valspar. Steven Jagerbaum. I also have him to win. And Sam Ryder. These are my outrights, guys. I'll plow through it. I only got a minute left. Lucas Glover 45. Alex Smalley from Duke. Could be a good weekend for Duke with him. 55-1. Jacob Bridgman 55-1. Steven Jager. Afternoon Nap 80, and I added Zalatoris because Joe Ranieri told me to. That's what I got, guys, and that's about it.
Scheffler? You get
no, he's
Scheffler
not even playing. No. He's those guys are gone. It's this is the D-list tournament, Dave. Scotty Scheffler's watching Texas in the in-game play-in game tonight versus Xavier. He's a Longhorn. Him and Spieth and the get-along gang there. They're watching basketball, but yeah, the Valspar is actually not a bad tournament. But if we can hit the first round leaders, then we got money. And Dave, you know what we do? Instead of putting it in the bank, we bet more college basketball because that's what we do here. We have fun.
How about Cavs Sacramento Kings tonight? We need to know.
I lean Cavs, but that's a tough game. Actually, Dave, my dumpster play tonight, I took the Utah Jazz -2.5.
Wow! Oof. Wow. I knew we'd find someone that would bet that game. I love it.
It was me. Joe Ranieri exposed me tonight. He goes, you bet Washington or Utah. I go Utah. Leafs win. Leafs win. Leafs win.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you giving like the Any Given Sunday Inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. We're gonna have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like I just don't get how he is still employed. We gotta talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
That is also value to be the best player on the best team. To me, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There is no doubt about it.
The Nuggets probably going to finish, second overall in the conference here, and it's not going to get him the MVP. We'll see how it is down the stretch, and I assume this is going to tighten up, but barring a huge drop-off for OKC as a team, not just SGA, you could probably pencil him in for 30 a night.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave closing up shop. Thanks again to Cam Stewart, him and Gabe at the top of the hour. Just a couple of minutes, they'll take you over the next two. Played a little hunch, as I kind of suggested there with Indiana. They did come back and win. You were getting 3.5 to 1. They were down 2 or 3 with about 36 seconds left. I was a little surprised FanDuel actually had a line up there, but not only did they win, they won by 4. 135 to 131. So hopefully you cashed a little ticket there. Toronto did win. I'm shocked that Cam didn't even mention this on the NHL on the ice. 2-1 over Colorado. Little matchup there. No score just underway. Seattle and the Minnesota Wild. And so far, good start for in the other playing game, Dave, for Texas. They lead Xavier 34-23. 6.5 minutes left to go first half. Another higher scoring game.
Yes, sir. Maybe the SEC, where they say it just means more, maybe it's going to mean more. Texas in, and we'll see. It's far from over, but that's a big lead for Texas. And tell you what, I think they're fundamentally sound. I think they're well coached. So I don't know if that means they're going to win a second game, but I like them pregame, still like them now. The Pistons just went ahead. 110 to 109, 2:24 left. So we got to get that one home.
Got a shot.
The Sixers are down 40. It's 120 to 80. The NBA is going to get silly here. You said there's 15 games left. There's only 15 betting opportunities to go against some bad teams. And in the battle of the what'd you call it? The Denny's breakfast game, the Grand Slam.
Grand Slam special, Denny's special.
Wizards and Jazz, 55-54 Wizards. 2 minutes to go in the first half. My goodness gracious. March Madness starts tomorrow. When we revisit this, you and I, on Monday, what is the story of the first weekend of March Madness?
Auburn is out.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't like them at all. I don't like the way they finished up, losing 3 of 4. You're on the fence with teams in this situation. They lost in the first round last year, as we talked about, to Yale, right? So a lot of times, they're going to come back just flying this year. He's going to remind them how mad it was, blah, 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 right? So you could take that avenue, or you could take the avenue of this team just doesn't perform in the postseason play. They're just under pressure, whatever it is. They're susceptible. And, they fall behind a little early in one of these first 2 games, and all of a sudden the memories start kicking in. They lost 3 of their last 4, got knocked out in the first round of the SEC tournament, not playing great basketball. I don't care who they played. They were beating teams that good earlier in the year. They're not now. Yeah, I think the story will be Auburn is out in the first or second.
I think the story will be we'll have more favorites. I think the public's going to have a good couple days, at least on Thursday and Friday, and maybe it comes back a little bit. But I think we're going to be talking about how the good teams prevailed more often than not into the second week. I think when we come back on Monday, we'll be like, all right, now who do you got? Because the games are going to get better. There's going to be a couple upsets, and I think there'll be a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16. I don't know what number, but there'll be one probably that gets there, maybe 2 outside. But I think prevailing thought we're going to have a lot of 1-4s, 2-3s set up for the Sweet 16. And, we'll be talking about, will there be a buzzer beater by the time that's been a bet. I can't remember what we used to make that number. But do you think there'll be a buzzer beater in either Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? There always is, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, you got so many games. It's like bet, will a game go to overtime? I mean, chances are that you'll get one out of these games. I mean, heck, you got 32 games just in the first round alone, right?
Right.
How about this one? Will a number 7 seed or worse win the championship? 40 to 1 odds. Now, before you say no, think about the blue bloods you're getting. Kansas, UConn, 2-time defending champs, Creighton, Louisville, Marquette, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, Mississippi State, UCLA. 40 to 1.
You can have them all. You can have them all. I'll give you 50 to 1. I don't want that. I don't think that's going to happen. But no, that's a good bet. What about the number 1 seeds? Will number 1 seed win it? Yes or no?
I'm saying yes. It's -3 to 1.
Whoa! Good job, boys.